I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't need to be fancy about this. It's just I'm just doing it. But I should like post this on Twitter and Discord and whatnot. Let's do that. Let's at least have the basics going on here. Bum 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 bum. Oh, thanks, Chi Chi. Okay. We're getting there. I'm posting stuff. I normally prep this beforehand. Okay, we're getting there. We're doing it. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, feel free to lurk in chat. I'm not even like I haven't started this yet. I have just decided to throw this together real quick. Oh, I can at least get uh oh wait, that's my actual screen display. Let's not do that just in case. I'll have the chat box in a second. Is that gonna do it? Oh yeah, I haven't even done this yet. I have to actually like go into the streaming thing and then do this and then put that there and then we should get chat on screen. There we go. Yeah, glad to see you on this rainy evening too, Alex. I'll get to this rain in a second. I'm just posting this on I'm posting about the stream on Discord and on Twitter. And then I'll actually start ranking music and like reading chat and stuff. But I hope you're doing well. I truly am just kind of bored tonight. There's just nothing going on. So I'm doing this because I have been feeling nostalgic the last couple of days and I wanted an excuse to listen to some of my old music. So here we are. Okay. There is the post in Discord. Is this link working? Yes, it is. Let's do this on Twitter. Here we go. It's out on Twitter. I think. Yes. Okay. Let's get this thing on the road here. Let's figure this out. How am I gonna sort these screens? That's the situation. Do I need to? Oh, I also need to do that here, don't I? Or do I? Oh, I just have my orders messed up. There we go. How am I gonna do this? I need like 3 screens to do this, really. Well, I guess I'll just actually leave that. Let's make just sure this audio is working. Yeah, that's going. Cool. Okay. Here we are. Probably. Yeah. Hello. Okay, now I'm reading chat and hanging out. Now I'm here. My day was pretty good, Dash Collector. Thank you for asking. It was kind of light. The clients I'm working for, composing stuff. Both of them are like we're not gonna be able to get back to you until like Wednesday. So I was kind of just chilling today, and I did very little. But I went for a nice walk, and I had basically that. Basically, that is what went on. I went on a nice walk. That's essentially what I did this day. Okay, so ranking my music. I've done so much music, and it's not something I'm going to begin to try and do. Trying to sort everything. So, what I'm going to do tonight is I want to just go through my 9, main original albums, which are all on Bandcamp, and they're all on Spotify now. So this is not dubs or like covers or any of my soundtracks. We're just going with the 9 original albums. Otherwise, I would be here for billions of years. If I go into my iTunes, which is where I have most of my music, not everything, but if I just pick the stuff that I've written, there are 433 tracks, 21 hours of music, so we're not doing all of that. But we are gonna do these guys. I wonder if I can squeeze this a little bit. Yeah, that's much better. So here we are, starting off with album. Starting off with the very well. This is not the first like collection of music I ever made, but this is the first one I released ever as Finn MK. And first up, we got The Brightest Morning. I barely remember any of this stuff. I mean, it's still pretty cool. I'm using Canva, yeah. It's literally just like I needed a free tier list maker. The Brightest Morning. This album is mostly like weird electronic stuff. I'm gonna do this in the most like sloppy boomer way where I'm just gonna write out all of these titles. The Brightest Morning. I mean, it's not bad. It's kind of weird. It has a good rhythm. There are like counter rhythms. I'm remembering something about this where it's like in 15/16 or something. It's kind of weirdly a Christmassy thing. I'm not going to include songs from Crimsonics. I have so much music that I just need to sort it into little bits and bobs. You definitely do hear a synth bass, Jordan. Like this is all of this early stuff is just all electronic digital instruments because it's all I had access to. It's not terrible. I don't hate it. How do I even move text once I've done this? God. This is like the most... I don't need to... Oh, okay, cool. I wanna... Actually... Well, we're starting an album. It's like a C+. I'm gonna put it in C. Man, I'm gonna run out of room so fast. Putting that in C. Move on to Run and Jump, which is one of my first ever songs to have lyrics. The stream is gonna be like irrelevant for most people until we get to the latest albums, but we're still doing it. That's young Finn singing. He's so small. Listen to Lil Finn. What a trip. I was 12, maybe? My voice sounds so different. It's so bizarre. This one's not bad. Oh, it's got this whole cool build in the middle. I want to listen to this whole thing, actually. Just this build. Here we go. Check this build out from Young Finn. I mean, that's pretty good for, like, I think I was probably older than 12. I think I was 14. And it keeps going. That's a solid B tier song. That is not bad. On Our Way featuring the Canterbury Crew. So this I did for a school project in high school. It was for my English class, and we were studying the Canterbury Tales. And we had to do like some kind of report on the Canterbury Tales. So me and my two friends in the Canterbury Crew, that was us. We made this whole song about 3 of the Canterbury Tales. I can't remember anything about them. They were like, it was like the Jester's Tale and something. It's just like my first rap song ever. Listen to this quality.
Begins.
Oh yeah, it's my friend Nick.
Friars are liars, more disgusting than mice. My story begins with such a creature. We travel door to door, a begging preacher.
We had a whole video for this too. Oh, that's funny. Let's go to my verse.
Or what goes around
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Hurry.
The Pardoner's Tale. That was mine. Here we go. The beat. All right, young Finn, hit it.
Listen closely to the partner's tale. Three men in a ratty tavern just drinking some ale. They were thinking about a friend who had recently died, and the three were pretty sad, it was safe to surmise. So the three of them made a pretty crazy plan. For death they would search all over the land. And when they found him, they'd kill him, the terror would pass, and no one could die, they'd be free at last. A little while later, little down the road, old man comes a-walking, he's covered in mud, and he happens to know just where death might be. Past this grove, up that road, and under a tree. When the three men arrived, it wasn't death they found, was a sack of gold coins, maybe half a pound. Suddenly, killing death didn't seem so grand. Their new goal was to be richest in all the land. But they knew if they took the gold in broad daylight, they'd look like thieves, maybe start a fight. So they all agreed to wait for their pay. Under cover of night, they would steal it away. But men need food, so the youngest man went off to town.
But men
to
need
get
food,
some
so the
wine
youngest
bread.
man
But
went
the other two went
off to
evil and
town to
plotted
get some
kill.
wine and bread.
Then there'd be the sheriff, they'd be richest gorillas. Still the first guy was clever, he thought the same. He thought if he had the money, he would further his name. So he visited his buddy, he who poisons the wine, and he started heading back at 8:30. When he got to the tree, he was killed by the two men who did murder.
The third man they slew.
Then they thought they would celebrate with bread and wine. They thought they were having the grandest of times, but they died. One sip of the poisonous brew was the end of the deceitful and treacherous too. In the end, it turns out the old man was right.
Death was under that tree that fateful June night.
On the way to
Canterbury,
we
ain't in no hurry. Weaving tales, spitting rhymes. You think? Oh no, I paused it by accident. Think that we do this all the time. Synth solo. What a good time. Still, like, not actually that great of a song. It was the school project song. It's all right. It was, the video is very funny, I remember. But it's not great. It's not one of my best. That's a solid D tier. Yeah, Young Finn sounds right. Moving on to Cloudless. This is the original Cloudless. So there is a version of this song on E12 The Traveler that is like the amped up modern version. I took this original idea and changed it around, gave it lyrics and all that stuff. But this is the original from when I was 14. So we're labeling that as OG Cloudless. And it's great. Like, there's a reason I redid the song. If I donate money, would you play On Our Way on Friday? Maybe. I don't know if I could remember any of the lyrics. Even though, like, I could remember if I was playing along to it, maybe. I could try that. Did I get a good mark for On Our Way? I think so. Like, we put in way more effort than other groups did. We rocked that English class. Anyways, OG Cloudless, A tier, no doubt. Moving on to the Stars. Just another Young Finn singing song. The Stars, baby. With my weird teenage voice. It's also not bad. It's got a fun bop. Actually, yeah, this idea is great. Oh man, like, listen to this part. I remember. Hold on. Check this mess out. Coming back in from the bridge. That's great. That's like Good songcraft from Young Finn. That's A tier. Feeling it. And then Crawl Out, which is kind of similar. Crawl was one of the very first ones that I did with Mixcraft, which is what this whole album is on. Crawl Out. And it's decent. I don't even want to go through this whole thing. It's not bad. There's just nothing too special about it. That's certified B tier. It's alright. Oh gosh, is it Wednesday? No, it's Tuesday. Freaking me out there, Zettel. I thought I got my days wrong. It is a spontaneous Fin stream on a Tuesday night, though. That much is for sure. And then Glory, also similar to Crawl Out. It's like one of these neat ideas. It's got a decent chorus, actually. I have so many... I have so many half ideas around this age where I didn't know how to fully explore an idea. So a lot of these have these great individual moments, and then the track as a whole is kind of doesn't quite fill it out. Harps and Kalimba is nice. It's just very calm. It's just this the whole time, basically. But it is kind of just a throwaway. It's literally called Harps and Kalimba. So, you know, maybe not a lot of effort went into that. I think I just kind of wanted to do an ambient song. Whatever. Suddenly. So Suddenly, this is a song that I have never played live, or talked about ever really. I've talked about some of the others, like Cloudless, and Each Other Traveler. I've talked about other stuff, but Suddenly is so good. The core idea is totally rad. Check this mess out. When it hits, when it comes in, you'll know. Here we go. Great idea. The core idea is so good. It's one that I could see myself taking the idea and doing something with it again someday. But it's got great drops. That core chord progression is so nice. It's actually, I wonder, my keyboard's even hooked up here. Let me look real quick. I don't know if it is. Hold on. No. But anyways, that core chord progression is so nice. I could see myself doing that with something one day. Anyways, that's A tier. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not quite S tier. Well, S tier is gonna be the really special stuff. The really powerful, the big things. Like this next one. Gay Mach. Gay Mach, undoubtedly S tier for multiple reasons. It's this 7-minute track, and it's just the same 3 chords over and over again. But it's so powerful, and it builds up for 7 minutes with wild instruments and stuff. It was just for a 14-year-old kid, this 7-minute heavily orchestrated piece was so ambitious, and I was so proud of it. And it was the first piece of music that really got to people. It was the first time I realized I could make, your parents listen to the stuff you make, and they're like, oh, that's nice. And this was the first time I was I can emotionally affect people with music. That was huge. like this the big end finale, which is coming up, I think, at the end of this rotation. So powerful. Some real, actual power, not like fumbling around with musical ideas. It's S tier. That song means a lot to me. Even musically aside, it's one of the very important songs for me. And then the album ends with this tune, Schlafe, which is German, and it means sleep. And it was kind of the answer to Geh mach, which is also German and means go, do, because it's just like a spur of energy and positivity. And then Schlafe is the calm down, so it uses the same chords, but it's much this calmer, pulsing, electronic ambient thing. It's okay. It like serves a specific purpose on the album. I mean, I'm gonna give it a B tier. It's not C, but it's not A. Cool. Hello, Grisastre. We're done with album. Let's cruise on. I feel like I do have to be like kind of brisk for my own sanity because there are 8 more albums to go. Let's do this. We are 1 in. We have got 1 S tier song. We've got 3 A tiers. Like, album, the very first one, is by no means a weak collection of music. 1 S tier and 3 A tiers. That's pretty solid. And a bunch of B tiers, like, pretty good spread. But album 2, my second album, is amazing. That's very arrogant to say. Let me rephrase that. This whole album, it's not even that many songs. It's 9 songs. It's actually 8 really, because 1 is a live version of a song. But every one of them is just so, hits me personally so hard. Even if it's not like the critically acclaimed stuff. But anyways. So remember how I did a new version of Cloudless on Each with a Traveler? Well, on Novum, I did a new version of this song, Legacy. This is the original Legacy. With young Finn doing his thing. And this is another one, like Geh mach, where it means a lot to me. I love the music of it, which is why I wanted to do another stab at it. It was another one of those songs that I felt like I needed to explore more to flesh out. But it was one of the ones that was just like pure magic for me as a kid. So I have a lot of nostalgia with this. It's going S tier. This is one that has never gotten like a lot of airplay anywhere. It's called the Volcano Break. It's just more this intense electronic song. It's pretty good. It's nothing mind-blowing. It's just got a lot of stuff going on. It's like significantly more complex than the last album was. There's just a lot of stuff layered in going on. So this stuff is like late high school for me. This is like 15 to 16-year-old thing. Starting to get into deeper orchestrations. And just stacking every possible instrument together. Anyways, that's B tier. Oh, this is gonna run out of room. Don't Fall. This song is called Don't Fall. It was recorded with my friend Alex T. Laurie. And I've actually played this one on late night piano. But Alex recorded all the guitar for this and he did half of the vocals. This is a great tune. And I'm getting more confident vocals here too. That's a great song. A tier. Bang, bang, boom. Moving on to a very intriguing song, Light the Priories, which is, now that I think about it, it's kind of like a precursor to Jet and the Valkyrie, in the sense that Jet and the Valkyrie draws on Norse mythology, and Light the Priories is told from the perspective of a bunch of Vikings who go and raid a monastery. It's a weird song. It's got like this whole 1 minute synth intro, and then these vocals and strings come in. A strange pulse. Hello, some guy. Hello, Just Thomas. We're not doing every piece of my music because that would take. I ballpark at having written between 700 and 1,000 pieces of music, between like all of my YouTube, all of my composing, all of my personal songs. So we're just doing my 9 core primary albums of original music. So no dubs, none of the videos, no compositions and scores. We're just doing the OG stuff. And this is Light the Priories, and it's pretty neat. My mom really loves this one. It's kind of got neat. I can't quite give it A tier. It doesn't really get it, but I'll give it B tier. In order to orchestrate, though, this one is intriguing. I have no idea what the title means. Could not begin to tell you, but the music is very intriguing and kind of powerful. This whole like piano and vocal thing for most of it, and then it builds up into strings. This album is much more orchestral, like nakedly orchestral. We got these wild harmonies and stuff. Oh yeah. It's such a cool piece. And one that was like, uses like minor chords, accidentals. It was such like, I'm giving it A tier. If for no other reason than because it was like this ambitious song structure and use of chords. Like, I respect Young Finn's wading into music theory, you know? And then there's Big Planet, which is basically an Owl City song. Big Planet. I don't know why it's like Big Plan and then E.T. is in brackets. It's just the way it was. This is like a Christmas song. This is like Owl City Christmas. B tier. Oh yeah, like listen to these bells here. That's pure Owl City and pure Christmas. Fun times. And then Sunshine. Again, just like, even these like mid-album songs that on some albums would be throwaways. This one's called Sunshine. On album disc, something about them all. It's just like, they all have something special going on. Sunshine, like, the weakest this album gets is B tier. I just love this album so much. It's got lots lots of cool stuff going on. Oh, Sunshine has this incredible building section. We're gonna listen to the whole build. Screw it. Check this mess out. I love this album. It has such a weird mix of orchestral instruments and synth, and it has its own character. It's such a cool blend. Had like the whole release at the end. This is like, and these songs are like the throwaways of Album 2. It's so good. Oh, we're all at the end. Let's hear the end. What a cool build song. And then we have Gemach 2. Which was me taking another attempt at Gemach for whatever reason. And there's a bit more going on. And I just can't respect it because it's derivative. I don't know why I wanted to take another attempt at Gemach so soon after making it. There's not even that much difference. I'm sorry. You're going into C tier. And C tier is only because it's Gemach, which is an incredible, meaningful piece to me. But check this mess out. The last song on Album 2 is Gemach live at my high school theater. So me and 5 friends, I got together for our high school talent show. And we did a live version of Gemach. And it's got this whole neat arrangement. So my dad is in the audience with like an old school camera recording this. So we had like piano, I was on piano vocals, guitar, drums, bass, and we had a guy on tubular bells and then xylophone. Where's... There's Finn. So this is I remember. Oh no, wait. We go to here. So here, our guy on drums, Giacomo, got up, took his shirt off, and threw it into the audience. And then we take it up a notch. Man, this is fun to do. We just went totally nuts. We did not win Oscar though, but we got the crowd vote. So the judges liked someone else, but the crowd loved us the most. Was I remember how it went. I'm giving that B tier, and it's only because like I think my memory of performing that is better than the actual like arrangement and song was. But that's album so good. Nothing less than B tier. Unreal. Moving on to album Dritte. My voice did sound very different then. I don't remember when exactly it changed. I think around the time I was 20, like getting into there, my voice really did a switcheroo. Maybe like early 20s. And now we're into album Dritte. So this is now me in early university. And album Dritte is just like, it's not a great album. This one and album 4 EP are not great. We're gonna blast through these. Because I was studying music at school, so I was writing a lot of music for my classes. And I just had leftover ideas and stuff that I put onto the albums. So, because they weren't like my sole creative output, they were just all kind of like half-baked ideas. This song, Starlight. Sure, it's okay, I guess. Wrong! D tier. Moving on. This one's called Bounce. And it's not terrible. C tier! Incoming, though. This song, it's called Incoming. And it's like the one saving grace of this whole album. Check it. It's cool. It's 6 minutes. It's got like a whole sweet build in the middle. Cool outro section. I can't even give it A tier though. It's B tier. It seems really good in the context of the album because the album is not good, but it's like a high B tier. And then we move on to this one. This is called The Dragonfly and the Katydid. And, oh gosh, okay. So this is, the singer is a girl called Katie Sutherland. And we were in a singing competition together. We did a kind of like an Ottawa Idol thing. And I was 20 years old. I was at like the upper limit of participating in this thing. Everyone was between like 10 and 16. I don't know why I did it, but I did. And I got to the semifinals. I look back, I cannot believe that Finn, I went of my own accord to an idol competition. And I sang in it for a few rounds, and I got to the semifinals before getting eliminated. But it's so weird that I did that. Like, that's not a me thing to do. I have no idea what possessed me. I have no desire to do it again. Dragonfly and the Katydid, C tier. Moving on. Oscar, that's exactly right. It's like Homer Simpson winning the plant redesign versus a bunch of kids. Yeah, God, I was this 20-year-old in a vocal competition. What am I doing there? Was I hoping to be discovered? Not, jeez. This piece is a piano piece called Nocturne in B minor, and it's quite meaningful to me. Although, yes, congratulations, Connor. Your second nephew is just born. Congrats, very cool. I'm an uncle myself. I'm all about that. So this piece, Nocturne in B minor, is very special to me because I don't think I've ever actually shared this. I composed this and I played it at my grandfather's funeral. In this big cathedral. He was sort of an important guy, so it was a big funeral. And there were, I think there were 200 people there in this big cathedral. And I got up and there was a baby grand. It might have been a full grand, actually. And I had been asked by the family, by my grandmother, to play something. And I picked this nocturne. And my grandmother then requested me to play this at her funeral as well. So she's still with us, but whenever that does happen, I will relearn Nocturne in B minor and be prepared to play it there. So it has a lot of meaning to me. I'm gonna put it in A tier, which is maybe a little self-indulgent, but I think it's quite a nice piece. Moving on to The Earth Trembles. Yep. D tier. Let's go. Winds of Solitude. You can really hear the difference in album to album to where like now I've been studying classical music at university. You can hear all these influences in the music. Like the electronic stuff has been totally left behind, you know? On some of these anyways. Winds of Solitude I originally made for a Skyrim mod, which is one of my first forays into writing game music. A composer friend of mine, we were both super into Skyrim, and we were like, we should make a music mod for Skyrim, where when you go to certain areas in the game, like we just add in more music tracks. So I wrote this one specifically to be backing music for the City of Solitude, and then we just never made the mod, but it's okay. It's not terrible. It's not D tier, but there's nothing special about it. This one, Ein Engel ist geboren, which in German is An Angel is Born. I have no idea. I don't know, man. I guess it's C tier. I guess. I don't hate it that much. I don't hate it enough to be D tier. Fantasia in B minor, though. This was ostentatious that I thought this deserved a recording. It's a Fantasia. It's mostly improv. D tier. Moving on to this song called My Lover, Then Some. It's kind of alright. I had no idea. I remember doing the production for this, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm going for. Is it orchestral? Is it a rock song? No idea. And I literally, I just didn't write any more lyrics. I wrote the first verse and the chorus, and I wrote nothing more. So everything else here is instrumental. I just gave up on it. It has kind of this cool build, though. I love builds. I'll give it C tier for this moment. Which is a pretty cool build, a pretty cool resolution. But the song itself is just very unfinished. I think it could have been something. But it wasn't. Anyways. This next one is super electronic. It's called Darkwave. It's got kind of a neat drop. I was into dubstep a little bit at this time. It's dubstep and classical music. But it's like, here's what it is. I'm sneaking you in there into C tier. In Love and Life Will Wait is actually quite nice. I forgot about this one. In Love, in Life Will Wait. It is this orchestral piece. It's pretty nice. I can't give it B tier. It's not that good. And then into Space Face. Space Face, I remember. So by this time, I was starting to write music for little video games, and I'd write a little Flash game online who needed music. And this was a rejected track, I remember, from a game. I don't remember what the game was anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's just not even special enough to be C tier. I don't hate it that much, but whatever. Baltimore. I was trying to score a drama or something, apparently. It actually might have been for a student film. You know what? C tier. That's kind of got some fun mystery to it. This song is just called Outro. It's the last song on the very underwhelming album Dritte. And again, it was meant for a video game, but it was rejected. Me getting used to rejection. An important part of the professional process. But I kind of like it. It's got a fun little journey. Anyways, that's album Dritte. That's the third one. Truly, there is nothing higher than a B tier. Oh no, Nocturne A. You know what? I can't even keep Nocturne A minor up on the A tier. It's just not that good. It's contextually meaningful to me, but it's not. It's only a decent piece of music. Moving on to album 4, the album 4 EP. And actually, with a strong start, this song is called You Can. And it's actually decent. I really like this one.
When you doubt yourself, when you write it all, do you need a hand?
I still have young Finn voice. Like, it hasn't graduated
I
yet.
will lift you up,
This is a cool song.
so you can, so you can, so you
The problem with this, it starts out so good, but it doesn't finish. I couldn't figure out an ending. It kind of wheedles away, which unfortunately brings it down to B tier. It's an A tier idea, but the execution is not, which is so unfortunate. Oh well. Moving on to this strange little tune called Painting on the Wall of the House. It's 1.5 minutes long, it's deeply unfinished. It's not the worst, but it's so C tier. Through the Atmosphere. Oh man, okay, so at this time, this is now my later university years, and I'm doing an internship at a recording studio, and one of the things I was doing there was composing tracks to be sold on royalty-free music websites. So this one, there's a few of them on album 4 where they're just like soulless corporate things, and I'm giving them all D tiers. Through the Atmosphere, this one is even worse. It's called Build a Dream. Good God. You're going right to D tier. Build a dream. I don't even want to listen to you. Another Fantasia, this time in B flat major, and I remember I like it less than the first Fantasia I recorded. D tier. Album 4 EP is for sure my least favorite of all of my albums.
if you
Blue Sky Glory is a decent song.
how would you change?
Again, like this time in my life, I'm just spending my creative energy doing school and doing some composing for clients, so there's not a lot on this album that's like, I'm putting my whole ball into it. Don't know why I chose that phrasing. But Blue Sky Glory I did, and I've played that a couple times. That's a solid B tier. Solid B tier song. This one again, Calligrapher, is just another one of those corporate songs I recorded. I did get to record it on a nice grand piano. And it's got strings and stuff going on. I'll give it C tier because it's got a little something special of its own, but it's got this, which is quite nice. but it's still just, it was made for corporations. This song, we're going to listen to the whole thing because it's only 30 seconds long. It is called, my friends, Dodgebots Are Programmed to Dodge. And this is a theme song I made for my dodgeball team. Let's go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dodgebots are programmed to dodge. Dodgebots are programmed to dodge.
That's pure C tier. Oh, I'm going to run out of room so fast. This is album 4 out of 9. I might have to do... I'll make like a second one. I don't even know. I don't know what the answer is here. I'll make the text really small at some point. We're not quite there yet. Oh, this one's even worse. So again, this is one of those corporate songs. I think at some point I started to get bitter about it. You know what the name of this one is? Corporate Imaginator. Here at Business Talk Corp, our client base is something that we synergize for. Our strategies are global and far-reaching. We lick ourselves in the office when no one's looking, and we work for you. Good God. Hard D tier. Some of your colors. Some of your colors. That's exactly right, Gems for. The ball I didn't put into those other songs was a dodgeball. Yeah, Corporate Imaginator absolutely has a smug corporate aura. It is not okay. Some of Your Colors, on the total flip side, is quite a meaningful song. I wrote this, I briefly had a relationship where the woman and I did not, we were so incompatible. Like, we had nothing in common, no like common interests or values. We worked together. It was a workplace relationship at a catering company that I worked for. But we still liked each other. So I wrote a song because it was a very weird thing to live through. And I really like this. It's just very simple and heartfelt. It's going to be. But that is all of album 4. Neither album 3 or album 4 have any A tiers or S tiers. They are the low point in my musical career. But now things pick up. Now we get into some good stuff. And some stuff that people may actually know. That chat, you might actually know. Because we're now getting into album 5. And that is songs that... Album 5 came out in 2015. So that's starting to get to a place where, like you might have dug back that far. Things will only get more relevant as we go along. Let's keep on rolling into album 5 with a kaleidoscope of planetary colors. Every once in a while, I need to give a song a very long name. I think that's just how I roll. A kaleidoscope of planetary colors. And this one is fun because I sampled Stephen Hawking. I know it's around here somewhere. That's a fun effect. The drop in this is huge. This is a cool song. I forgot about this. Oh, and then like there's hard. This is the first time I ever hard auto-tuned my vocals. That's B tier. That's B tier for sure. Just a solid tune. It's a high B tier, honestly. And then I Need a Kick. Let's turn that down a bit. I did not really know about mastering stuff good at this point. But I Need a Kick is very fun. It's just a happy electronic time. It's B tier. Fun time. It's nothing crazy, but... Oh yeah, listen to this happiness right here. Good times. All right, moving on to Mad. This is the first time I used a trombone in a song, I think. This is a weird, kind of complex, fun tune. I mean, yeah, it's kind of neat. That's B tier. And then Airborne. Oh, I'm so relieved to get to Airborne. Because it's an A tier. Finally, we get another A tier song. Airborne is just a great pop song. I was so happy to write this. I remember this was the one that made me feel like I had gotten out of my funk from Album Trota and the Album 4 EP. Airborne was like, this is a good feeling song. I know, I'm sorry, Heather. It's not quite S tier. There are going to be like 5 tracks on this whole tier list that are S tier. I'm very picky about S tier songs. But Airborne is a hard A tier. I love this song. This is great. Moving on to Hero. Hero is a really nice song. It's B tier. It's just shy of A tier. It just means a lot to me because I wrote it about my dad, for my dad, really.
And I've got one too, but between us dad.
I remember I had a dinner with my dad, and we talked. That's what this song is about. That dinner, and we just talked a lot for the first time as peers. Like, it was a very clear break from parents to son, and me being like an adult and being like, oh, my dad is a person. He's not just my mythological dad figure. He is a person, and he has dreams and fears and has had failures and successes of his own, and he's just doing the best that he can, and he's winging it. That was a huge moment of Sonder for me, of understanding that, you know, other people have lives. Even your parents, who are like these untouchable figures in a way. Okay, well, you guys want to know about S tier songs. I don't need to listen to the whole thing to know that Road to Happiness is an S tier song. Road to Happiness is a powerful song for me. Album Thumph as a whole is maybe my darkest album. There's some sad moments on there. And Road to Happiness is such a real, naked admission of, I need help. Like, I'm not doing great. And the lyrics, the music, everything about this, everything combined, from the trombones and the melody, just to the raw, there's so much emotion in this song. It's just a very powerful song for me, and I still love playing it. You gotta be in the right mood to play Road to Happiness, but when you are, is that powerful. But it gets darker still with the next one. The Room Where the Heart Lives. And this is straight up a song about suicide. Now, to be clear, I have never felt suicidal, so this, I remember even feeling like, can I even write this song? Because it's more of a story about a suicidal person. And it's one of those ones I like. It's got weird structure. I quite like it. This whole pulse into the end of the song, the end section, is really something. It's something. It's like it's B plus. It's not quite A. It's not quite A. But this one is. This like the album ends so dark. Like Road to Happiness is a pretty dark song, and then The Room Where the Heart Lives is like, oh, this is really dark. But it's not about Finn. And then this song, the 8-minute long triple song, What a Beautiful Life, Happiness is Here, Worth, is also really dark, and it's about Finn. What a journey this one is, and it's definitely an A-tier song. It's probably not an A-tier song for many people. It's kind of weird. It's got, this positivity in the first, in What a Beautiful Life, and then it gets weirder in Happiness is Here, and then Worth is really pretty dark.
This has to be beautiful.
A lot of album funk is just this naked, desperate emotion.
What a beautiful
So that's like, 'cause I love Sigur Rós. So I love big long builds, and I love ending sections that are just like massive pulses of music. And this whole like 8-minute long journey is a really, it's one that hits home for me. It's one of those songs that was very much written like, this isn't a story. This is me, actually Finn, real life, how I'm feeling. So it's actually not the last song on album. The last song is Airborne Acoustic, which is a bonus track, so I'm not going to include it here. But I remember needing that because I'm like, after these last 3 songs, Road to Happiness, The Room Where the Heart Lives, and then What a Beautiful Life, Happiness is Here, Worth, I'm sad. Like, I'm emotionally drained. I need aftercare from listening to this album. So we have Airborne Acoustic. It's just like, it's calm. It's a little bit of good vibes. But we won't put it on because it's a bonus track, so I'm not counting that. And then we're on to album Hawk, which has got some bangers on it. I think it's less of a cohesive journey than Album Thumph is. Album Thumph is a powerful album for me because it's like, here's 8 songs. I think it's literally only 8. Yeah, 8 songs, 35 minutes, and you're just in it, and then it's done, and it's like, whoa. Album Hawk is a lot more meandering. It is 14 songs, 55 minutes. There's a lot going on. And it starts with Life is Good, which is this weird album intro
Old project files.
where I just like talk.
Old photos.
And there's a little bit of a pulse behind.
But I look around, and every time so far, I've thought to myself, I'm doing okay. Things are good. Life is 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 good.
It's just a nice message. But it's more of like a narrative device than an actual piece of music. It's an album opener. It doesn't stand on its own. But this one does. The Fire I Love. This is fun. It's Finn rapping. It's silly.
But you gotta compromise when your money's a limit. Cause I got a dream, and it's going through. I give everything
It's
I have
B-tier.
just to make it come true. And I will. So okay.
It's got synth solos. It's just decent. And with Pull Me. Pull Me is a little better. This is just straight Rush of the Blood era from Coldplay. Like, I like this song. The problem is that there's not a lot that is unique about it. I feel like its story has been told before, musically and narratively. So it's gotta be B tier, unfortunately. Hard to take in All That I've Got. That one's more unique for sure. And that was written about it being sometimes hard to appreciate all the things that you have. Hard taking All They Got A tier. Really, you think so? It might be deeply underrated. It's certainly no less than B tier. I don't think it's A tier though, at least in my opinion. I'm really running out of space in the old B tier. I think it works better as an underrated song, weirdly. You know? And then there's Sonder, which is a 10-minute orchestral boom. Again, this is just like a great orchestral build song. But I think I've just done that too much at this point. So like, there's nothing wrong with this song, but in the context of me having made similar songs, you know, like this is, you know, take this on its own. It's like, what a powerful build, a piece of music. But I gotta give it C tier. That's just, it has not stuck with me over the years. Hard to Take and All That I've Got is a great road trip song. For sure. It has that certain feel. Don't Need Love. Don't Need Love is A tier. I really like this one. I like looking back on this one because it was like early 20s Finn being like, I don't need love. All I need is my music, my craft. And I had not realized at that point that love is part of that craft. So it's so angsty, but the music is cool. It's like a cool pop song. It's definitely A tier. It is edgy. I have so rarely written edgy music, and that's maybe why I like it, Heather. Because it's so rare for me.
I got my heart filled up.
Cool. When the Sky Falls Down and You Have Nothing You Need to Do. Again, gotta have those long titles in there somewhere. Let's write this whole thing out. When the sky falls down and you have nothing you need to do. I don't know if I have all the capitalizations right. It's not great. It's not great. I'm not gonna lie, gang. I've done better. It's gonna be D tier. I don't hate it. It's just, I don't know. But then there's Lavender Air Balloon smashing into the second half of the album. Lavender Air Balloon Is it D tier? No. Is it C tier? No. Is it B tier? No. Is it A tier? No. It's S tier, baby. Lavender Air Balloon. Absolutely one of my best ever songs. For 100% sure. I love everything about it. You feel so good listening to it. It's fun to dance to. It's fun to sing along to. It's fun to like be all up in your feels and just like blast it to feel good. It serves every purpose. If this doesn't make you want to sing along, you know? So good. Fun to sing along. Yeah, fun to cover. That's absolutely right, Oscar. But we're on to the Afterlust, which I quite like too. It's just like a good song. There's no two ways about it. Okay. I think we're gonna listen to the Afterlust a little bit, because I need to reduce some of the sizes here to squeeze more in. And in the stillness of the road. I know we don't have a lot in the A tier or like S tier. I'm very picky about, but we don't have a lot in the A tier either. It's true. But I think there are more to come. I'll spread this out a little bit. This was the right decision. I know that. I know we're better off apart. I know that, but it still hurts. This one's written about a breakup. Where like I knew we had to break up. It was pretty obvious. But it still sucked. Still sucked to do it. It was a hard breakup because it would have been easier to just stay together, but I knew it was not the best thing long term. It's the way it be sometimes. All right, we're clearing up so much space. So space efficient here. I have to do this with the C tier soon too. Well, maybe not. As I've gotten older, I have become more selective about what I include on my albums. So they tend to be better, I think, than the earlier stuff. Generally speaking. Whoops, I deleted it. Okay. All right, later Afterlust. Moving on to Oh Mama Hey, which is a very fun title. Oh Mama Hey, I wrote this song for my mother. Unfortunately, it is C tier. It's not personal. It just is. It's just a C tier song. Yep. That Feeling is a cool song. That Feeling is a neat song. That Feeling When I'm With You. I think it's one of the only ones I've done where there's like brackets. I never do that normally. I truly do love both my parents equally more green, to be clear. But I like Hero more than I like Oh Mama Hey. That Feeling is pure B tier. It's right smack dab in the middle. Where it's decent. It's decent. It's not less. It's not more. Pure, unadulterated deuce. We Are Heroes. This is a high B tier. This one won me a songwriters competition in 2016. I haven't played this one in a stream in a while. I should do that again. It's truly a B+. Truly a B+. I can't quite give it A tier.
Tell me, brother, are you ever down?
Invisible Magic. Invisible Magic. This is a very bizarre song. And there is a reason that I don't play it live. I think I played it live once or twice ever.
With you.
And it's because the time signatures are crazy in this one. And if you haven't noticed, it's because I worked very hard to hide them. It's a C tier song. It's not mind-blowing. But the time signatures are crazy. It goes like 5/4. It like swaps between 5/4 and 6/4, or like 3/4 at some points. It's just constantly switching. They're doing alternating time signatures, which is very cool. It's got this neat pulse. But nah, C tier. Now this one. This is the pair. This is the pair to When the Sky Falls Down and You Have Nothing You Need to Do. This is When Your Life is Complete and You Have Everything to Show for It. And it tail ends the second half of the album. And this one is great. It's got something I love. I don't know exactly what it is. Everything to Show for It. The most unwieldy title of all time. But there's something so powerful about this. And it's A tier. This little piano tune, for me, is A tier. It's just a very powerful little tune. And that ends album Huck. All right, assessment. How are we looking? Yeah, I do have some Fall Out Boy length song titles. It's fun to do sometimes. How are we looking here? We've got a lot in the B tier. We got a lot in C tier. It's fairly bell-shaped. In the coveted S tier, however, we only have 4 tracks so far. We have Gay Mach, which is from the very first album. We have Legacy, the original Legacy, which is from album 2. We have Road to Happiness from album 5, and we have Lavender Air Balloon from album Hawk. And given the amount of songs that we have gone through here, that's an elite cadre. That is a rare place to get to. But the next song is an S tier song, and you're gonna know why as soon as you hear it. We are into Etoile the Traveler. Spirit of Adventure. Undoubtedly, unquestionably, S tier. So good, baby. One of my favorite songs of all time that I have written. It would be a deep insult for it to be anything less than S tier. And it means a lot to me for 2 big reasons. One is because it genuinely is an S tier song. Musically, nothing else. It's just awesome, awesome, awesome. But the other reason is that this was the first song that I released after getting popular on YouTube. And I was very nervous about it because I was like, I suddenly have a much bigger audience, and this is going to be the first piece of original music that most of them see. It's got to be so good. And I could not be happier that Spirit of Adventure was that song. Like, it lived up to the internal hype I had built up towards it. And everyone loved it. It was awesome. It was a great, great time for me as a musician. And even now, look, that song was released 6 years ago. But we all know it as soon as you hear it. As soon as you hear it up there. It's very uniformly high quality. I feel that same way, Heather. There's no part of it that's weak. It never dips in how good it is. It's good for all 3.5 minutes. It's just awesome. And the core idea, I've been able to do so many different versions of it in live streams. Just so great. And then we're up on Cloudless. So this is the new Cloudless. So this is Cloudless 2018. OG Cloudless would have been like 2008 maybe? Yeah, so like 10 years. Cloudless. So new Cloudless. It's a great tune. Like there's no kidding about it. But I would give it a B+. It's just shy of A for me. It's not like, and I think honestly the only reason I'm putting it in B with that B+ is because it's a reused idea. You know? Like Cloudless OG and Cloudless 2018 kind of share the spotlight. But it is a great song. Caldwell 39. When I made this, I had no idea of the impact that it would have, particularly on the live streams and in Late Night Piano. But when I released Each Other Traveler, the EP, Caldwell 39 was my least favorite song on it. And over time, it has grown to become my second favorite after Spirit of Adventure. It's 100% A-tier material. And part of that is because of audience response, honestly. Like, Caldwell 39 is the late night piano song, you know? Yeah, it's an L&P staple. When I think of late night piano, I think of Caldwell 39. It occupies a very special place in my heart now that goes beyond the music. And that's thanks to literally this. We're live streaming right now. It's literally to stuff like this that it means that much to me that it does. Moving on to Celestial. Celestial. What a rad time. This is an exciting, great song with massive dynamic variety and like switches and stuff. Gosh. It's B+. It's so close to A. It's like just shy of A. I can't quite give it to it. But I really do love it. And then Earth, which is, without question, for me, A tier. Earth is so cool. What a cool song. The whole way through. The instrumentation is so space-coded, you know? This is like, I know it's a very space-pilled album, but like Earth in particular really feels like it gets space. It understands it. This whole section, this whole last bit, and especially the very ending of Earth. It's an S-tier ending of a song, and to an EP. Like, that's how you end an EP. That's even a short collection of music. Earth, baby. So, yeah, Each Other Traveler is one of my favorite collections of music of all time. And clearly you can see S tier, A tier, A tier, B tier, B tier. Very high quality in those 5 songs. No weak links. Awesome, awesome stuff. And now we move on to Jet and the Valkyrie. Jet and the Valkyrie. What a journey. What a journey this one is. We start with the overture, which has a very wide text box for some reason. There we go. So that's more reasonable. The overture is, I'm giving it a B tier. I think it plays a really good, important role in the album. And I love, you know, I still think this overture is some of the best orchestration I've done. Pure, like, as far as classical music goes. And then to use the gunshot here at the climax as a narrative device. Listen for the gunshot. cool song. Valkyrie. Valkyrie, what a tune. It's one of those ones that has really grown on me over time. It grew a lot thanks to Late Night Piano, because it became around before Jet and the Valkyries released. Valkyrie was a Late Night Piano staple before, people knew Jet and the Valkyrie was a thing. And the more I've listened to it, the more I'm like, this is one of those songs, like, what a mature song, Like, there's so much depth to explore to it. It doesn't present all of what it is in one listen. But it's not incomprehensible, it's still catchy and stuff. Let's just skip ahead to that, the famous Valkyrie yell. Here we go. Hit it, Finn. Man. That is an A-tier song, baby. As is Chorus of the Einherjar. 2 A-tier songs back to back. That is how you kick into an album. Chorus of the Einherjar, I love this song, man. What a rad song. I had never done anything like this before. Like, it's hard rock and an ancient Norse choir. It's the mix of a lifetime. What a cool track. Of a lot of the music I've written, I'm very proud of Chorus of the Einherjar for pulling this big production together in a satisfying way. Man, that's one I want to play to like a big crowd someday, and all of us just doing the yells and everything. And then Pull You Down, guys, 3 for frickin' 3. Pull You Down is an A-tier song. There it is. Valkyrie, Chorus down here, Pull You Down. It is such a powerful start to this album. All of them are very cool for different reasons. Again, and then like just with Chorus down here, I'd never done something like that. Pull You Down, I've never done something like that until then, and since then. It has such a specific, intriguing vibe. I can't quite place it. It's definitely massive Coldplay vibes, for sure. But man, like those 3 back to back, you love an album. So I'm so happy with Jet and the Valkyrie because like the big lead single was Blue and Green, but the whole album is full of these great songs. So like I love when an album can front load with some just back to back great tunes without needing to rely on like the big hit single to do that. And Jet and the Valkyrie totally does that, which I'm so proud of. Just like the overture sets the tone, and then you have banger, banger, banger. And then we finally just need a moment to breathe. So we have The Sun Is At Our Backs. And this is a very cool song. Like, it's a half song. It's a minute and a half. It's very chill. I have loved that I've gotten to explore different ways to do this song in Late Night Piano. I'm giving it a B tier. But because it like doesn't try to be more than what it is. It's a calm moment. And it's lovely. Yeah, with the bird song and like the sounds of wind going through it the whole thing. That's just I really love Jet and the Valkyrie. And then we are into These Streets, which iconic piano riff, if I may be so bold. It's so like you immediately know what it is. Now These Streets is, I'm giving it B tier It's just like hello Panini. It might be an S tier piano riff. I believe that's true. I believe it's A tier S tier piano riff. Oh god, that's such a cool vibe. The beat is so intriguing on this one. And I think this is going to be A tier, or like, yeah, S tier for some people. For me, it's a B tier. And I always wondered about this one. Like, could I have executed it differently to make it an A tier song for me? I could never quite figure out what These Streets was supposed to be. But, you know, if nothing else, the guitar too. If nothing else, Ryan Oakes is sick on this.
I took it to the west coast and made it my home now. I had a lot of drive, never cried, never broke down. I took breaks, never crashed, I never slowed down. Nothing feels better to me than all the concrete surrounded by palm trees with the sun shining on me. The possibilities are always feeling so endless. Might be surrounded by pavement, but I was never
It's so good.
Cause I was so free, so searching for purpose, running from all of my doubts, smoking and lost in a circus downtown with no shirt, no shoes, getting service, forgetting all of my burdens, waiting behind all the curtains to get a chance just to go shine. Might take a couple L's, but I know I'll be fine. In love with the process, I've never been afraid to grind. I'ma keep on going till the city is mine, until the city is mine. Oh,
So cool. What a cool dude. Moving on to You Can't Keep Your Heart Closed Forever. Now this one I will admit, I think it's unfortunately a C tier. If there is one song that if you had like gun to my head, scrap a song from Jet and the Valkyrie, it would be You Can't Keep Your Heart Closed Forever. It's just like an okay idea for me. And it was a necessary part of the story, but it's just an okay song. Oust. Oh, I don't have my accented A. We'll just have to do that. Again, this one too. It's nice. It's also kind of like not entirely necessary. C tier. Cyan, though, as the lead-in to Blue and Green, it actually does a terrific job. And this little 30-second lead-in is A tier. Because of the context, because of the build-up to what it becomes. It is such an important part of how Blue and Green comes in. And ladies and gents, Blue and Green, I mean, you know what it is. S tier. Blue and Green is absolutely an S tier song. It is, it's so, it's the king, man. This is like the iconic part of Jet and the Valkyrie. This is the love story that the whole narrative is around. I love a song that is big on optimism and positivity, and Blue and Green is like, yeah, absolutely. We got blue and green hearts in the chat, 100%. This is, again, it's like, I knew it was a hit when I made it, and since it's come out, it has not disappointed to my own expectations of it. Like, we all get stoked when we play this in Late Night Piano. It's such a big song. It's got one of those, for me, it's got one of those iconic progressions that, like, it hits the same part of my brain that Spirit of Adventure does. Blue and Green and Spirit of Adventure hit the same part of my brain. Like, every album has one. On Album Hawk, it's Lavender Air Balloon. On Each Wild Traveler, it's Spirit of Adventure. On Jet and the Valkyrie, it's Blue and Green. It's not a coincidence that those three tracks are S-tier tracks, you know? But we gotta move on to How Angels Die. An absolutely brilliant A-tier song. It's almost S-tier, honestly. It's almost S tier. It's an A+. It's just shy of S tier. Because S tier are like the legendary ones. How Angels Die is not quite legendary. But man, I just love this one so much. And it's the epitome of happy songs, sad lyrics. Like, listen to this chorus. Listen to this chorus. So good. Awesome. Moving on to Empty. Empty is a powerful tune. I played it on the last stream, as a matter of fact. Empty is one that's, I'm gonna, perhaps surprisingly, put it only as B tier. But that's because I cannot decide on my relationship with it. Playing Empty is a very powerful experience to me. But for some reason, I don't get that same feeling when I just listen to it. I have no idea why. No other song of mine does that to me. But this one does for some reason. But it's a high B tier, if nothing else. And then Kata, the album closer. Again, this one's B+. This got so much cool stuff going on. It's a journey through everything. Got a big ending. It's not quite A tier, but it's a very cool song. But that's the end of. Oh yeah, that's the start of Kara with the Nordic choirs. Pretty great. That's a good insight, Panini. The feeling is sometimes attached to playing the song, not the song itself. I have a few melodies I play that are like that for me. I mean, you sound like you've hit the nail on the head. I've just never felt that before I wrote Empty. Or rather, like, did the production of it. So that's the end of Jet and the Valkyrie. And what a roster. Blue and Green in the S tier. In the A tier, Chorus of the Iron Hero, Valkyrie, Pull You Down, Cyan, and How Angels Die. That is a strong track list. Jet and the Valkyrie is truly a great album that I'm so happy with, so proud of. And finally, we come to album number 9, the last and the latest album so far, Novum, which opens with Welcome to Novum.
We're coming into Novum now. When you disembark, follow the blinking.
We're leaving behind the orchestral winterlands of Jet and the Valkyrie for the neo-cyberpunk future of Novum. Welcome to Novum. Welcome to Novum is B tier. It's so like no, Disassociate I don't consider an album really. It's a film that has music. That's my vibes about it. Yeah, I think Novum also felt super fresh to me, more green. It's like the answer to Jet and the Valkyrie, which is this darker, Jet and the Valkyrie is kind of a darker, more intense story. Novum is lighter. It's kind of more fun. It's more like a bunch of fun singles and little stories. So Welcome to Novum, such a good tone setter. Such a good tone setter. This is Novum. The kind of a little bit of retro, a little bit of synthwave. This bridge that is. I love the hard-tuned, the auto-tuned bridge here. I love this part. This part is A tier. helps. Cool. It's also nice, like, it happens so gradually. But, like, listen to the, we just listened to this. Listen to, like, Welcome to Novum. And compare the production value to a song from my first album. My evolution in mixing and mastering production has been so gradual, but sometimes you get those moments where it's like, wow, I've come a long way. So that's always nice. Moving on to Legacy. So, at long last, OG Legacy in 2009 in the S tier. We get to Legacy 2023, 14 years later, I think. And I have to do a similar thing where Cloudless OG was an A tier and the new Cloudless in B tier. Legacy is an A tier song. But because it's on the threshold, just because it's a reuse of an old idea, I have to keep it in A tier. But I love the energy in this one. It so feels like coming to Novum for the first time. I mean, it's literally that, so that helps. And then Fight the Moon. Fight the Moon. A classic tune. I'm gonna be honest, guys. When I made Fight the Moon, I knew it was an A tier song. But over time, yeah, it's true. Legacy starts with a beat and then just crushes you. Very true. Fight the Moon started for me as an A tier song, just in the studio. But over time, how it's evolved, like in live streams, and what it means now, and like what we do with it, I'm going to put it in the S tier. I'm gonna put it in the low S tier, to be clear. I don't think it's up to Blue and Green and Spirit of Adventure in that power S tier, but I've got hopes for Fight the Moon, that it will become iconic in the same way. So it's the lowest, I think, with OG Legacy are kind of like the lowest ranking members in S tier. But they are in S tier. Like, it is. Heather, you've got it exactly right. There are some tracks that really get better over time. And better with an audience to change your perception of it. Like how you guys respond to stuff like Helpful 39 and Blue and Green and Spirit Adventure and Fight the Moon changes how I feel about them. What a concept, right? So I got big hopes for Fight the Moon. Lucy Lemon. Lucy Lemon I have a complicated relationship with, because I know it is like one of the big crowd favorites off of Novum. However, I had such a hard time doing the production for this. For a long time, I could not find a mix that I liked. And Lucy Lemon was not even going to be on the album, because I could not find a way to do it that I liked. So I know everyone loves Lucy Lemon, but I think my love of it is the live experience, you know? And it's less the core song. I think the core idea and like the live aspect of it are really great. I still feel like I could have explored this production in a different way, like done a different beat or something, and it would have been better. But I'm putting Lucy Lemon in the B tier, which is a little scandalous, I know. But I'm putting her in the B tier. It's a high B. It's a B+. And it's one that's like heartbreaking. We'll put her like right on the line to A tier. Lucy Lemon is the highest B tier out of every song in this list. Fell to my knees in a Walmart parking lot. Lucy Lemon's very close. But again, it's the experience around Lucy Lemon that is great for me, and less so the song itself. Although the vocal melodies of Lucy Lemon are some of my best ever. Like an acapella of this would slap. Because the melodies travel, they tell a whole harmonic story. They're great. It's just how I'm not super with how I did the production. I'm just not super stoked about it. Anyways, Infinite Adventure. And this one, no kidding around here. This one was a just naked attempt. Like, I want to write a really happy song. I'll probably love it because I tend to love really happy songs. Guess what? I loved it. A tier. I just need to make some room for it. Whoops. Oh, I don't want to delete pull you down. All right. Squeezing in Infinite Adventure into A tier. For sure. It's really got... It's a little bit of a successor to Spirit of Adventure. But more in that it's just... I feel like on every album I do, I need one song that is pure happiness. That is upbeat, exciting energy, good times feeling with no hidden sadness in the lyrics, just genuinely good times. Airborne, kind of, Lavender Air Balloon, Spirit of Adventure, Blue and Green, Infinite Adventure, and Fight the Moon, honestly. Fight the Moon and Infinite Adventure are both that. But it's a great one. And then Gravway. Gravway, very cool song. I wish I had been more experimental on Novum, straight up. I think a lot of the songs are kind of in my safe wheelhouse. Gravway was not. Gravway was me playing a metal guitar riff. Like, let's move ahead a little bit. This is my Rammstein song, straight up. I was listening to Rammstein's latest album a bunch while making Gravway. Krautrock. I've never written a metal riff before. So Gravway just has like... God, the synthwave vibes. It's so cyberpunk. Love that. And then we've got the whole changed middle section. Just like, what a journey of a song. Very cool. That was a lot of praise for me to then give it B tier. But I'm gonna give it B tier. And the reason is that it has all of these cool individual sections and ideas, and I just could not find a way to string them together in a really satisfying way to make it an A tier song. Just the way it'd be. At the same time, with Anne Reburn, I am really like crushing your hopes on this, on the Novum rankings, Heather. I apologize. But I think it's good to be a little critical of oneself. Not too critical. You gotta have your A tier and your S tier songs in there, but I don't oversell myself to myself. I think that's dangerous, because then you stop challenging yourself. Like, I have written like, these are my 9 original albums over like 15 years of writing music. And in those 15 years, I have 7 songs that are S tier. I write an S tier song once every 2 years. Like, that's the push to try and make some great music. If I'm trying to reach my personal S tier, that is a very hard bar to reach. At the same time, B tier. Moving on. Moving on. It's honestly a low B tier, if I'm being honest. And then this is shoot. I mean, this is the Japanese song. It's not Arisu. It's Dobotsu. So I don't have Japanese lyrics on or letters on here, so I'm just gonna write Dobotsu. Actually, it might be Dobotsu. It's I have to give it D tier, unfortunately. It's not terrible. This was just like, I wanted to do a song in Japanese, and I wanted to do a 2-part story with Dobotsu and Princess Arisu. And in the end, Dobotsu just became about fulfilling those 2 conditions rather than being a good piece of music. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But then there's Princess Arisu. This is another one, just like has become. I didn't think very much of this song when I wrote it. Nope. But it's really become a hit in the live streams. And we all get our howls on. It's fun. B tier. I'm so devastating. Just crushing my own songs. Again, like this is one, it could, I think I'd be hard pressed to see it reach A tier. But it's growing on me over time. I love seeing the howls in the chat, honestly. Such a big part of streaming, like music, doing music streams, are like where we can have stuff like this. We have like the emojis for Fight the Moon. We've got the howls on Princess Arisu. We've got the blue and green hearts on blue and green. I love seeing that stuff. I love that we have that going on. As opposed to, you know, people just listening. Which again, like people are totally free to listen. I'm happy to have anyone there. But this is such like a next level engagement, you know? Let's move on to Age. Age is a sad song. I wrote it about my Oma, who died last year. No, 2022. That's when I wrote it. Gosh, time keeps going. Yeah, and it's got something to it. I remember this past summer, I was in Vancouver visiting a friend, and we had gone to a lake, and I went off my own, and I just wanted to listen to a little bit of music for a while at the lake, and I was just looking, I was standing on this rock looking out at the lake, and I was listening to Novum, and I listened to Age the whole, I just stood still, and I for the first time, this was like 7 or 8 months, or 9 months actually, after the album was released, I had already written, recorded, produced the song, and like heard it a ton while doing that. But standing on that rock, looking at that lake, listening to Age, was the first time I cried listening to this song. And it was at that point that I was like, oh man, delayed grief. I had delayed grief happen to me. And that moment changed Age from a B tier to an A tier song for me. Very much and truly so. Is it weird to listen to your own music? In a sense. I mean, I'm so used to... I hear my own voice so often. You know, people are like, when you hear your recorded voice for the first time, you're like, that can't be me. I don't sound like that. That's been, but like recording my own voice and recording myself has been my life. So I'm so used to hearing my own voice and my own instruments, my own music. So I don't have that sense of weirdness about it anymore. The weirdness I feel about listening to my own music is when I'm too close to it. So like, I'm now far enough away from Novum that I can hear it as a listener and not be thinking about the production and the mix as the creator. Once I get that distance, then it's great. Then I love listening to my own music. I make music I want to listen to. Why would I not? I've always found it so weird that people are like, listening to your own music is egotistical. It's like, why would I not? This is music I made. Of Of course I'm gonna like it. Most of it. I mean, I have a lot of songs in the D tier. More in the C tier, but of course I would listen to my own songs. It's great. It's fun. They're some of my favorite songs to listen to. Anyways. Wow. Age is a song I hope I never have to relate to, and I mean that very much as a compliment. I mean, here's hoping. Alright, gang. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. This 5 a.m. is, for me, 5 a.m. is to Novum what Pull You Down is to Jet and the Valkyrie. This kind of darker, sparse song with a different kind of vibe than the rest of the album. 5 a.m. is a very different vibe for me in a lot of ways. It's so urban, which was like the point after Jet and the Valkyrie. I'm like, this fantasy distant album, we're coming into Novum, we're in the city, we're in the streets. 5 a.m. is in the streets.
Be famous, be young, get the
And I remember there's so many comments on the YouTube video for 5 a.m. being like, mixed feelings about this one bit. Like, some of it is really cool and some of the lyrics are great and some of them are clunky and they feel awkward. And I agree, but that's the fun of trying new stuff. You're gonna misstep, but it's in those missteps that you experience new things.
How many times can I begin again? How many leaps? It'll flow.
5 a.m. would be B tier, but then we get this whole like build. And this pulse, right, hold on.
5 a.m. Now we're
The
here.
beat and like just the instrumentation right here after the lyrics
What a world.
are unreal to me. I love
5
them.
a.m.
Like, what a vibe. What a very particular feeling. I just love that so much. And then we close with the chorus, but ramped up? That's A tier, gang. 5 a.m. is an A tier song. Very cool. Well, speaking of floating off into space, M29, which is literally floating off into space. M29, I mean, is like an obvious sequel to Caldwell 39. And thought I had to burp, but I didn't. It's not only the sequel to M29, but it is the, second part in what I hope to call the Nebula trilogy, where 3 ambient instrumental songs written about different nebulae out in the universe. Caldwell 39, M29, and I haven't written the third one yet, but it's something I'm going to do one day to complete the Nebula trilogy. The next collection of music I want to work on is not at all electronic or digital, so it's not the right place to put that in, but I'm going to do it someday. Yeah, the Nebula trilogy is not like, it hasn't a narrative or anything. It's just 3 songs, ambient, instrumental, lo-fi songs written about nebulae. That's my plan. That's absolutely right, Panini. This song is best enjoyed when you're tired and staring up at the ceiling from your bed for maximum immersion. It really is. Same with Caldwell 39. Caldwell 39, like, if M239 is when you're in your bed looking at the ceiling, Caldwell 39 is when you're like out for a nighttime walk and you're looking up at the stars and the moon. That's the vibe. Now, Caldwell 39 is very special because of the impact that it's had on late night piano and stuff. I like M29 as much musically, but it doesn't quite have that same impact. And it's not quite as easy to play. Although I do play it sometimes in LNP. But I'm giving it a B tier. I really do. I think I like it more than the B tier would suggest. But it's not an A tier. Is the third nebula also going to have a 9 in the name? I don't know. That's honestly a coincidence. Because I picked Caldwell 39 and M29 based on the nebula's appearance, not on their name. In fact, Caldwell 39's one of the alternate name and the original name of the song. Here's a fun fact for you 6 years later. The original name of that song was the Eskimo Nebula, which is what that nebula is called. And when I showed my brother the EP, he's like, "You should probably change that." And I'm like, oh yeah, that's now kind of not an okay term. So I changed it to one of the other names. Like every nebula has like 4 names. So I changed it to Caldwell 39. There you go. I think the 3 will already be tied together title-wise by having the names of nebulae. Like that's a pretty obvious tell. Anyways, that's M29. Moving on to our very last track of this whole tier list. The very last track of Novum, and the last piece of serious original music I have released. Hello There and Pick That Dad are kind of like count in the YouTube sphere. Anyways, The Architect. The ol' Architect. The Architect is maybe the best piece of music I have ever written. It is, I think, the best composition. It's among those that mean the most to me specifically. And it serves as a standalone piece incredibly. It also lends to the narrative of Novum. Like, it checks every possible box and is 10 out of 10 music. And that's why it's D tier. Sorry, gang. It just could have been better. Kind of a letdown, really. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It is the most S tier song out of them all. It's the most S tier. Like by leagues, I think. I remember hyping it up before the album was out in a live stream or something. I was like, man, if I go, you know, if you know, whenever I die, if the Memorial Society is like, we need to pick one of Finn's pieces of music to memorialize him, like, what is the one that we pick that represents him the best? It's The Architect. I cannot overstate how happy I am with this one. I wrote all of Novum and like produced and recorded the album by the end of summer 2022. And then I went to the West Coast for 10 days where I had my age cry. And I realized as I was listening to the album there over and over again that it wasn't finished. And I came back and I did nothing for 3 weeks straight. Literally nothing. I just woke up and then would do like 12 to 14 hours of writing and arranging and recording on The Architect for 3 weeks straight, every day, because I sat down as soon as I had the idea started. I was like, oh, this is something in a different league. And I literally told my clients, like, I messaged them saying like, hey, I'm gonna be out of the office longer than I expected, basically. And I just made The Architect. It is, it's my magnum opus, if it can be summed up to a single piece. And it's scary now almost to release new music So like I say all this, I know like The Architect is not a song for everyone. And it's certainly not a song you can really listen to every day. It's not like it's not like Fight the Moon, where you can just throw that on a jam. Like The Architect demands a kind of investment from you as a listener. But so I say all that knowing that it's like this song is not for everyone. There's a reason it's not the most popular song on the album. That I didn't release it as like a single or anything. But it means that much to me, and I think it is that good. And there's also like a bit of nerves now for me being like, The Architect was the last song of the last album I released. Like the next original piece of music I release that isn't like a comedy song like Pick That Dad has to live up to The Architect in a way. Like I'm competing against myself, and I'm competing with myself at my absolute best. So it's like, whew. The next thing I make better be radically, radically different and incomparable. So there is our tier list. So I think we've got kind of, I mean, we got a lot of B tier, kind of similar counts in A and C tier, more D tier, and then the select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs in S tier. Over my 15 or 16 years of writing music, 8 of my songs are S tier. I get one every 2 years. And you know what? I mean, thanks for hanging out on the stream. This not planned and just kind of wanted to do this. I think we're going to end this with listening to the rest of The Architect, because we're right at the point where we get that big last section. So let's go.
From the past, I'm afraid of change, how nothing lasts. But in November, this city that I built from scratch, I'm the architect of eternity's path. I'm only good with words if it's melody. In music, I don't play the game of self-deceit. So yes, I am changing, yes, I am scared, I don't know what's out there. I hid my hopes, siphoned my fears, recorded my dreams, drew from my tears, sacred blueprints for a city, and I called it Novem. A place that through change I could always keep with me, Novem. A place where every story has the chance to speak, Novem. I open the doors and welcome you in to know them.
There it is. That's the tier list as it stands right now. We have ascended. So thanks for hanging out. Normal stream on Friday, late night piano. And I will play probably one or two of these songs. It'd be weird if I didn't. Oh, you know what I could maybe do? Oh, no, wait. Get out of here. Yeah, so I'll play I'll play stuff, as I do. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you are having a lovely week so far. Happy little Tuesday. I'll catch you next time. Bye.